So while doing YouTube this past year, I've gotten back into playing games. It's become quite a fun and rewarding hobby for me. And my number one system I'm playing games on is my trusty old Nintendo Switch here. Had this bad boy since September of 2017, so he is over 7 years old now. I have got a big Nintendo Switch collection. Not huge by any means, but big enough, you know? I've been collecting for over 7 years, and I haven't finished many of those games. But this year was the year I kind of actually was tracking my backlog and writing my notes as I was playing them, my thoughts and everything, keeping track of everything in a spreadsheet, and I've actually been getting through quite a few games. Easily my favorite game console of all. There's just so much to play. So I wanted to just go through for a chill little video my Nintendo Switch game collection and talk about the games I've played, what I kind of haven't played, and my thoughts on them a little bit. So yeah, let's start. Preface, I'm like the weirdest person, apparently I'm the only person in the world that does this. Most people display their games on their shelf like in alphabetical order, or by publisher, or by series. I display my games in the order I got them. And I've never seen anybody else do this. I look it up, no one does it. I've never heard anyone even conceive of the idea of displaying them in order. So I have all my games just memorized the order I got them across the years. I've always done this since I was a kid. I've always just put them in order of how I got them. So we'll go through them in the order of how I got these games. So, of course, what better game to start with than Breath of the Wild? Everyone's played this game. This is the most obvious first game to have on the Switch. It was a launch title. I remember when it was announced in 2014, I think, back ages ago, and we were waiting forever and ever and ever for this game. It was amazing, and I got it as my first Switch game. I didn't finish it until this year in July or so. I had 3 playthroughs. I got not very far in my first one. My second one, I got to the Hyrule Castle, and just gave up, and then in my third one this year, I beat it, and Hyrule Castle wasn't actually that scary and hard. You may notice as well, I've got these custom Switch spines here. Nintendo Switch spines are all just red with white text, quite boring. There's a subreddit called r/Switch spines where they design custom Nintendo Switch cases and spines and everything. And I think it adds a lot of life and character, so I printed out a bunch of them, and they're on most of my games. The only ones that don't have them are the newest ones that I've gotten. So yeah. I beat this game this year, and I got most of the shrines done, and really enjoyed it. It was at the start of my backlog, because it's the first game I got on the Switch. I wanted to beat it first when going into my backlog. And an amazing game. Next up, another early release, we have ARMS. I got this just as I got my Switch as well, because it was another game I really wanted at the time. Quite an underrated one, I must say. I really enjoyed playing it with my friends in multiplayer, doing Party Crash when it was an update later added, and the characters are added. It was a bit shallow and short-lived, but I wish Nintendo would do a second game in the future, and I actually really enjoyed this one. I liked the world and art style and the gameplay a lot more than Splatoon. People always kind of pair them together, because they were both the newest IPs by Nintendo, and ARMS kind of fell flat, but I really did like ARMS a lot more than Splatoon. I'm just not a big fan of the shooter genre. Then we have Pokémon Tournament Deluxe. A bit of an odd one. This was the first Pokemon game on the Switch, so that's why I got it. I'm a big Pokemon fan. I played a little bit of it when it came out with my friends online, but haven't really touched it at all since about 2018, I'd say. Kind of forgotten, it was one of those early releases, and it's like an actual fighting game. It's an actual Tekken game. I don't know how to play fighting games. I'd like to really learn how to do that, but someday I will learn how to play fighting games proper. But yeah, it looks really cool. That was the biggest appeal, I think, for me, was how it looked. Then we have a really big game from 2017, Super Mario Odyssey. You may notice this and Pokémon Tournament, they both have the US rating system for age. It's because my parents got me these 2 games from New York when they were in America in 2017. The rest of my games will be in Australian rating, except for 2 of them, which we'll see later on. But yeah, Super Mario Odyssey, this was my favorite game at the time, like my game of the year for 2017. I enjoyed it a lot more than Breath of the Wild. It's just really packed and concise and dense and great. Yeah, Breath of the Wild's amazing, but I like it a little bit more. And yeah, this was like, this felt like, oh, Nintendo's back, like there. I was a fan throughout the Wii U era when Nintendo was at their lowest, and this was like fully the triumphant return to like, Nintendo is a big boy now. Like, this is a successful era for them. And Super Mario Odyssey is kind of just the face of that for me. So an amazing game. Played it a few times. Then we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I got this in Christmas of 2017. I had Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, so I was a bit hesitant to get this one. But it's definitely become a lot more unique from just a Wii U port of all the DLC it's gotten. I haven't played a lot of the DLC yet, but it's fun, and just fun to do online. It's Mario Kart, everyone has this game. It's the best-selling Switch game, like one of the best-selling Nintendo games ever. So yeah, looking forward to Mario Kart 9 on the next console. L.A. Noire, kind of a strange one. It was my first ever MA game I got. It also has the required internet download. It's bigger than the Switch storage, I think it's like 30 gigabytes or something. This wouldn't be a game I'd get now. I'd get it on like a different console or PC. But I'd never played a Rockstar game, and I really wanted to, and I liked the idea of a detective game, so I got this game. And yeah, it was like tricky for me to get into at first, of like shooting and driving in games which I've never done. I never played like a mature game. This was the first one I ever really did. So I came back to it about a year later, or 8 months later or so, and beat it, and really enjoyed it. I'm not sure if I'd replay it, maybe years and years down the track, but it's an odd one because it has that required download, and it's a big download too. I remember it was kind of controversial when it came out, but yeah, definitely, in hindsight, an odd game in my collection here. Then, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. This was a game I played a lot of. Played it online, it had like these MMO aspects, and I got really into Dragon Ball around this time. It was when Super was wrapping up, I think. This was beginning of 2018. I played this so much with my friends. You get to make custom characters and everything, and do lots of missions. It was so fun. And this was definitely one of my favorite games at the time, because I really wanted to play the first Xenoverse, but I didn't have a good enough computer to play it on Steam, never had a PlayStation, never had an Xbox, and this was the console where Nintendo was getting third-party support again, so here it was for me, and I loved it. Sparking Zero just came out, looks really fun. I don't have the PC storage for that, unfortunately, so I'm waiting and hoping we get a Switch port, or on the next Nintendo console, a port there. But yeah, a game I played a lot in 2018, haven't been back to in a few years though. But this game is the game that refused to die. It has gotten DLC this year. It's crazy. I'd like to go back to it someday, but I think it's kind of just like a relic of the past now for me. A lot of these early kind of games are like that. Here we have Rocket League. This is probably one of the few games I regret getting. I bought this for about 60 bucks. I think Rocket League is free to play. But yeah, my friend and I got this, like, oh, we'll play Rocket League, we'll get into it, and we sucked at it. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it'd be really fun, because I was playing multiplayer games like Dragon Ball and ARMS and everything, but we just kind of didn't really mesh with this one. And, like, it's a physical card for Rocket League. There's like a little card there, I guess. Yeah, it's collector's edition. Not much to say about this one. But yeah. Next up, we have the Splatoon 2. This was... I'm not a big fan of Splatoon, and I didn't like Splatoon on the Wii U. And I was like, oh, I'm not really going to get Splatoon 2. But I was waiting for Bayonetta 2 to come out, and I missed it because it got out of stock, it sold out. And I was like, well, I want a game. And I was like, I'll at least get some hours of Splatoon 2. Everyone I knew had put like 50 hours into it. I got it, played for about 15 over the years, and now Splatoon 2 is kind of dead. Splatoon 3's come out to replace it, and yeah, haven't really gone back to this one since. I haven't gotten Splatoon 3. Maybe I'll get Splatoon 4 on the next console. I'd like to get into it because everyone seems to love Splatoon. I like the kind of world building in it. Just the genre isn't really for me. I never played any shooters growing up, and I suck at them, so... Yeah, I remember never just liking Splatoon. I was always the odd one out. It just didn't mesh with me for some reason. But yeah, I've played like a little bit of it. Yeah. Now we have Kirby Star Allies. This is another like weird early Switch game. I got this, but like in hindsight, now I probably wouldn't. It's a very short and easy game. I played this at a friend's house. I played it for like 2 hours when I got it. I was like, oh, there's not much left in the game beyond those 2 hours. It was fun, it was easy, this was like an easy game to beat. This was the first time, 2018, I got a lot of games, and it was my first time actually like beating games. So this was kind of the start of like a trend of me beating a few games this year, so it was fun. Don't have any reason to go back to it or anything like that. So yeah, I'd rather get the better Kirby games that are on the console now. We got Bayonetta 2 with the Bayonetta 1 code. This was a game that I wanted to get, sold out. It was an MA game. I was like, oh, am I gonna get in trouble because she's so sexualized? Oh. But it's pretty fun. I beat the first one in like a week. I just blitzed through it, and then I was like kind of burnt out on playing the second one. Played it for like 2 hours, and I haven't gone back to it since. I'd like to, because I've heard Bayonetta 2 is much better than Bayonetta 1, and I enjoyed Bayonetta 1 enough. But it's just kind of different from what a lot of the games I play now. I got this 6 years ago. I'm much more into like JRPGs and everything. This is more of like a hack and slash, beat 'em up kind of game. So maybe I'll get to it eventually, but it's not high on my priority of like backlog games. We got Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, a really good port of the Wii U game with the easy mode, which is what I used to beat it because I sucked at games in the past. But this is a very good 2D platformer, one of the best, and very tough one as well, which is why I needed that easy mode. I got this in May, and I played through it, and it was really, really fun. Funky Kong, like Funky Mode, was just fun to play as well. But I do want to replay this eventually, like years down the track, without easy mode. And I'm hoping we get a new Donkey Kong game, like an actual new one. We've got Donkey Kong Country Returns coming out next year, but that's just a port of a Wii game. So I'm looking forward to getting an actual new Donkey Kong, because I haven't had one in a decade, surprisingly. But very underrated game, I feel. I think it's tricky to recommend because it was released at full price, and there was nothing really new, but it was really good regardless. I might be out of print now though, so it might be a bit tricky to find. We got Mario Tennis Aces, the first of the kind of mediocre Mario sports games that have come out. This was the only one I got. I was excited for it. I had a bit of fun, like online and everything. Had a cool story mode, which I gave up on because it was a bit hard for me. I don't think it's actually that hard. I could go back to it. But yeah, it was kind of bare bones. It got updated, but it was kind of too late, and I lost interest by that point. I didn't end up getting the golf game or Strikers. I was interested in Strikers, but apparently it was the worst of all the sports games, unfortunately. But yeah, you know, it's okay. It was whatever. I got it in June, I think, of 2018. 2018 had a lot of kind of weird filler games. But also in the same month, June, I got 3 games. Big month for buying. Mario + Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I just got this because I heard it was good. And this was that one, like, Nintendo game that was always on sale, because it was actually a Ubisoft game. I played it for like 2 hours and haven't gone back to it since. Maybe I'll beat it again in the future. I played Persona 5 Tactica this year, which is a similar kind of XCOM tactical RPG or shooting. I don't know. I've kind of... Ubisoft has left a bad taste in my mouth out of all the controversies that have come out of them, so... You know, not the most keen to go back to it, and there's just so many games on the Switch, and my backlog's so big, and I want to get more games, so this is kind of low on that priority. And we've got Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. This came out like a year prior on other systems, and I really wanted to get it, but I didn't have them, and it finally came out on the Switch in 2018, so I was very excited. It was a hard game, I remember raging at it in 2018, but I managed to beat all of them, and I beat the extra hard, like, cut level that they re-put in the remake. It took like 2 hours, but yeah, it was a really fun game. I haven't touched it since like 2018. A lot of my 2018 games are kind of odd in that sense, but it was really fun and really challenging. This was the first, like, actually hard game I managed to beat and felt really accomplished in doing so. So it was fun. Really great as well. Then we got Crash Bandicoot 4. Maybe in the future, who knows. Then we got Sonic Mania Plus. I remember getting excited for this because I had the big box edition and everything, I got that. And I just don't like it. I've tried to get into Sonic games multiple times in my life, and I just have never been able to. I just don't mesh with the gameplay. It's too fast. I can't comprehend what's happening on screen. And I just don't find them fun. I never got past the second, like, zone in this game. I just died constantly and I couldn't do it. And I just don't have fun with it. That's probably the only other game I probably regret buying in my collection. I've heard people love this game, and I just can't get into it, unfortunately. I'd love to, but I just don't enjoy it at all. So, yeah, sorry Sonic. Then I didn't get anything till September 2018. I got Minecraft. I mean, everyone's got Minecraft. I have it on Java, and I was like, it'll be fun to get on the console. There's no real reason to play it on console when you got it on desktop, because that's just the superior version. So, yeah, I played like 20 hours of this across the years, but never really got properly into it. I don't know, it's just there, it's Minecraft, everyone knows Minecraft. Then also, around my birthday in September, I got Dragon Ball FighterZ. Had a lot of fun with Xenoverse. I was really looking forward to getting this game because it looked super cool, but I can't really play fighting games. I don't know how to. I can't do quarter rotations and stuff like that. I just don't get it. So I played like 10 hours of this, tried to learn it across multiple times, never really got into it. I'd like to go back and learn it someday. I will learn a fighting game eventually. That's really high on my list of things I want to do. And this would probably be toward the top of that list, because it's by Arc System. They're really cool developers for fighting games and stuff. And this is a cool game, so yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Then, didn't get anything till November 2018, I got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I remember I wasn't going to get this game, so I was like, this looks bad, it's just a remake of a Game Boy game, it's got motion controls, Pokemon Go gimmick, and then I had an 8-hour flight to Japan, and I was like, oh, I have nothing to play, I'll get this. And yeah, so I've gotten every Pokemon game on the Switch, including Let's Go Pikachu. I played it about twice. And I played it on a mono poison run to make it a bit more difficult for myself. It's, in hindsight, it's like the best looking Switch Pokemon game, aside from the spin-offs. But it's okay. It's like baby's first Pokemon game, pretty much. Yeah, nothing too special. I'd rather just play Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green for a Kanto experience, honestly. Because this doesn't have any of the evolutions or anything. And if you've got Joy-Con drift like I do, then it's just a pain to play. And I can only really play it in handheld mode, so, because the motion controls don't work well, in my experience. Then we've got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, or Super Smash Bros. Special, as it's called in Japan, because I got this game in Japan. I was in Japan when it came out, and I was so excited to get it. So this is one of 2 Japanese Switch games I have. Just one, it's Smash Bros. It's my most played Switch game. I've put over like 150 hours into it. It's got all these characters, all these levels, it's super fun to play online, by yourself. I would just spend hours battling CPUs. Friends, it's Smash Bros, it's amazing. One of the best Switch games, for sure, definitely the best game of 2018 for me. 2018 was a big year for game collection for me, in fact, it was my biggest year. I got like 13 or 14 games for the Switch, crazy. And we're not done yet, even though we're in December. While also in Japan, I got Taiko no Tatsujin for the Nintendo Switch. This has since got an English port, which I didn't get because I had the Japanese version. But I'd always seen this character and I was like, I want to play it. And the arcade game looked super fun, so I got this on the Switch. Played for about 10 hours, never really got properly into it. But I've since gotten the sequel game, Rhythm Festival, which is much more better and deeper than this one. The music passed and everything, so it's got 800 plus songs, and I loved that game. I put lots of time into that one. This one's a little bit more shallow in comparison, but it was a good entry point into the series for me. Plus, it didn't have language options, so it was my first game like entirely in Japanese for the Switch. And only one, really. Smash Bros. I just changed it to English. Then, rounding out 2018, we have Dark Souls Remastered. This is the only Dark Souls game I've got, so the only one that's like on the Switch, like the only Soulsborne kind of type of game. I've got Bloodborne on the PS4, but I never played it. My PS4's broken, so yeah. But this was a weird one. So this is the last game I got on 2018, and I've only ever played like an hour, like past the first jail boss. I like hard games. Dark Souls might be a little bit rather than hard, just kind of annoying because it's old, I feel. I do want to play it eventually. It's definitely my backlog pretty high as well, because I love games like Hollow Knight, and I played harder games this year. I played like Metroid Dread, and like Crash Bandicoot. This would be a fun game to stream, I think, because of how difficult it is. It'd be fun to see my reaction and everything. But I do enjoy difficult games like this, so I'm excited to actually getting around to it eventually. Then going into 2019, I didn't get anything in comparison to 2018 until September. My birthday that year, I got Super Mario Maker 2. I haven't really played much of this game at all. The first one on the Wii was really fun because of the touchpad and everything. So I played that like with friends at parties and everything. I haven't really touched Super Mario Maker 2 at all, because I didn't do any level making, and I just haven't played any levels. I think it would be fun too, though. I'm feeling the itch to go back to it recently. So I'll see if I actually end up doing that. Because I didn't really touch this game, like, at all. It's quite strange, but there's definitely a lot of fun to be had in here, so it's something I do want to get back to. Then, also on my birthday, September 2019, got Link's Awakening. We just had Echoes of Wisdom come out, which was the same style as this. Link's Awakening is probably my favorite Zelda game, between that and Wind Waker, I'd say. I played this one on the Game Boy a lot growing up, and I was super excited for the remake. It's beautiful, the music is really great, the graphics are really great, it runs a little bit iffy here and there, but it's just really fun. When it came out, I played to like the 7th dungeon, and then kind of got lost and gave up, and didn't touch it till this year, so I came back in August or July, and I beat it over the course of a weekend. It was super short, super fun, not very difficult. It was just a really fun experience. I loved it. So I've officially finished like 2 Zelda games now. Yay. Then we had Pokemon Sword, the first like proper Pokemon game on the Switch. A very controversial one because of the Dex cut. I remember getting this on the day I graduated high school. I was the first to leave when people were crying because I wanted to get Pokemon Sword. In hindsight, for all the drama with this game and everything, it's just like, it's fine. It's just like a mediocre Pokemon game. It's not as glitchy as like Scarlet and Violet. It's just more of the same. Like, the Dex cut wasn't a big issue in hindsight, really. But yeah, it's like pretty bland for like region design and everything, and story's really bad. But, you know, it's fun. I've played it through like 3 or so times. So yeah, it's just Pokemon. You know what you're getting with it. There's a crow going crazy. And we have Luigi's Mansion 3. Got this around Christmas of 2019. It's a very, very fun game. I beat this, like, as soon as I got it, pretty much. I just tore through it. It's very cinematic, definitely one of the best looking Switch games. And just super fun. It feels like a theme park. It's really good. All the different themed floors in the hotel, and just the puzzles and action and stuff. It's just fun. I felt like I was playing like a movie. And I was like, wow, this is really what... It was the first time I felt like, oh, this is what a more powerful console could be capable of. I'm excited to see what Nintendo could do with like PS4 level power on the next console. Luigi's Mansion, I'm excited to see what they do next for this series. Dark Moon remake or port came out recently on the Switch. Not sure if I'll get that, but who knows. Maybe I'll feel the itch if I get through more of my games in the future. Then, also around that time I got the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I got the Crash Bandicoot trilogy the year prior. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get Spyro as well, that might be fun. But this is not one of those internet download required games. Only the first game is on the cart, the rest you have to download, which is kind of stupid in my opinion. I played through the first game and really enjoyed it. I had the simplicity of it. And trying to get the challenges and everything like that was really fun. 2 and 3, I didn't really play. I tried 2, was really weird, open-ended, and I was like, I don't know. I just wasn't really enjoying it. It was like, it felt a lot less structured, and I didn't like that. I liked the levels of the first one a lot more. So I just never really played 2, didn't finish it, and I never touched 3. Who knows? It's on my backlog, but it's kind of low priority for me on there. I don't know, it's a different era for me of playing Spyro. But I'm glad this game exists at least, but I really wish we had like a full, complete on the cart. Just the download is really stupid, I think. But it runs and looks pretty good. Then, last of 2019, we have Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm currently playing through this. I've just reached a time skip. It's a long game. It's a fun one. It's like the Persona of Fire Emblem, kind of. My favorite Fire Emblem game that got me into the franchise was Awakening, like a lot of people. And Three Houses is equally as fun. I think I like the characters a lot. I'm excited to see how the story progresses in the post-time skip kind of stuff. And how the characters have changed and everything. But yeah, definitely a fun JRPG tactical game on the Switch. Yeah, I got it, didn't touch it for like a year or 2. Played it on stream in 2022. and didn't touch it for another 2 years, and now I'm playing through it now, and I'm hoping to finish it this month. Then we go to 2020, beginning of COVID, beginning of uni, Animal Crossing. This was the game that I remember I was like, oh, we find a lockdown as long as Animal Crossing comes out first. This was the biggest game of 2020 for sure. I played this quite a lot. I've done like over 100 hours. I like New Leaf a bit more. Actually, I definitely like it quite a bit more. It's a good game though. I feel sad it was given up on quite early by the developers. We got the DLC, which I have got with the expansion pass for Nintendo Switch Online, but I haven't played it. I'm looking forward. I feel we're going to get a new Animal Crossing fairly early on in the Switch 2's lifespan, so looking forward to that. But it was a really pretty game, really fun, a little lifeless here and there, but I don't know, a good experience. I put over 100 hours into it, so, you know, it's worth it, I'd say. Never had like a perfect town or anything though. I got Ring Fit Adventure in 2020 as well, but I've given that away since I don't have that here anymore. In September, we got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe. I played Blue Rescue Team growing up on the DS, really enjoyed it, and I was excited to get this game. I love the art style of it, and this cover is beautiful. I'd started a few save files here and there across the years, never finished it, and then last month I was like, you know, let's just power through it, because it's only a short game. And I beat it. Because I'd beaten the original as well, so I kind of knew what I was doing, to an extent. And yeah, it's fun. There's lots of post-game stuff to do, I haven't touched any of that yet. Because I remember like soft-locking, or hard-locking myself on the original, because for some reason, in the post-games. I'm looking forward to playing through it eventually, but I'll go back to it after I've beaten a few more games, I think. But a fun little game. I'm glad Pokemon Mystery Dungeon's still alive in the Switch era. I hope we get a remake of the Explorers games, because they are some of my favorite games of all time. And maybe even a new entire entry in the future, but who knows, the franchise is currently just on hiatus. Then around the same time, this was like my birthday, 2020, September, Super Mario 3D All-Stars came out. This is a controversial one because it was a temporary release, like limited time. And it didn't have Super Mario Galaxy 2, which was weird. But I got this, haven't really played it much. I played a little bit of 64, a little bit of Galaxy. I do want to play them because they're good games, they're 3D Mario games. And I've got Mario Galaxy 2 on the Wii here with me, where I currently live as well, so I've got all of the 3D Mario games. But yeah, you know, it's 3D Mario. Everyone knows that. I want to actually play them and beat them, because I've never beaten any of these games. So yeah, someday. Then after that, in February, I think, or January of 2021, we got Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I had this on the Wii U, got to the last world, was playing with a friend before school and everything. Never finished it. And then got this, powered through it, got to the last world, and never finished it. So in July of this year, I just beat it in like 20 minutes because there wasn't much left in the game, and then did Bowser's Fury. Bowser's Fury, it's okay. It's fun, but the actual Fury Bowser part I found really annoying. It was fun for like 2 times, and then he just kept appearing, and I don't know. It was mid, Bowser's Fury. People love it, but yeah, he was kind of annoying. He was really annoying. More frustrating than fun for a lot of it, I think. The 3D world I like quite a lot. The levels are really tight and fun, the music's fun. And this is a nostalgic game for me because it was like the Wii U's Mario, and I played it a lot and was super, super hyped for it back in 2013. Around the same time, I was like, oh, I'll finish Super Mario 3D World and then I'll play Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which was a port of the Wii U game, which I didn't get the original, so I got it on here. And then, because I never beat 3D World till now, I didn't touch this game for like 2 years. I didn't play it once. Then at the beginning of this year, I played it for like an hour. I beat like the first chapter. I was like, oh, it's pretty fun. I'll come back to it. Haven't gone back to it since. But it's a short game and a fun little charming, really well designed game. So it's definitely on my list. I think probably around like December or something I might get to it. It's not long, I just want to finish it, and it's a cute little fun game. You'll notice a trend, a lot of my games I started, played like an hour, and just dropped. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition. This is 2 games, Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. This is like the most RPG of the Digimon games. In 2021, I got into Digimon from watching the original anime, really enjoyed it, and I was wanting to get this game. I had Hacker's Memory on PS4, never played it, so I got this on the Switch, because I'll be more likely to play it there. I played through about 10 hours of the original Cyber Sleuth game. Haven't touched it since 2021. It's definitely my backlog. I want to get to it, but it's daunting because it's the biggest game on my backlog. It's over 100 hours for the two of them combined. It's very big. But I do want to play it because I'm a big Digimon fan, and it was fun from what I played. It's just I've got a lot of games, and this is at the top of the list in length, so it's just kind of scary to get into. It's a big time sink and commitment, but definitely do want to play it. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, another controversial Pokemon game because of the art style and just being a one-to-one remake of no added features. You know, I had fun. It's built on a good game. The Sinnoh games are my favorite Pokemon games. Platinum especially. This was didn't have any Platinum features though, but it had the Grand Underground, which, you know, was fun. Getting rare Pokemon and everything. I used like a rotating team for this one of 12 Pokemon, so it made it interesting and fun. I only played through it once. I'll go back to it eventually, maybe. It was fun to play with friends because it was first time playing with my group of friends from uni, and for one of them, it was her first Pokemon experience, so it was pretty fun as well. But you know, I was just happy Sinnoh finally got remakes, but the next game was one I was actually waiting for. This was Pokemon Legends Arceus. Definitely one of my favorite games on the system. When this got announced, I couldn't sleep. I was so excited because I was in such a state of depression with the Pokemon series, with how it was going after Sword and Shield and the DLC and stuff. And then they announced this game, and it had everything I wanted in a Pokemon game. Returning to old regions of new stories, reusing starters in different regions, just an original story, changing the formula, changing the gameplay. It was so unique, and it came out, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. It is an amazing game. Definitely one of my favorite Pokemon games ever. The best Switch Pokemon game in my opinion. And it's in my favorite region, Sinnoh. Like, it's based on Hokkaido. I love Hokkaido. I went to Hokkaido because I grew up playing Pokemon Sinnoh games and I loved them. So I love this game. It takes place during the Meiji Restoration. I love the lore and the history and the research behind it. I just love this game. It's got Rowlet as the starter. Come on. It's got Cyndaquil and Oshawott. That's such a good trio. Plus the Sinnoh Pokemon. Oh, it's good. It's good. I love this game. Definitely my favorite Pokemon game on the Switch. One of my favorite Pokemon games in general. One of my favorite games in general. So yeah, definitely worth it. I'm excited for Legends ZA when we get news about that, if it ever comes out. Then I got, in 2022, WarioWare Get It Together. I had a gift card from a friend. I was like, oh, well, I'll get this. It's okay, it's fun. I remember playing it at a friend's house and enjoying it there. It's definitely a multiplayer game. I've done the story mode, like the 2 hours of it, finished it because it was like the shortest game in my library. So like, I'll just finish this in an afternoon, and I did. I wish we had a Wario Land game. I feel like a lot of people wish we had one because I love those games and I've got to play Pizza Tower still. But this one's fun enough, you know. Definitely fun with friends, but not for like super long because it's only a short, small game. Glad I didn't pay full price for it because I had a gift card, so yeah, that's why I got it. In 2022 we had Digimon Survive, my second Digimon game. This one took a long time to come out. I remember it was in development for a long time. I do like that it's like a visual novel with some strategy RPG elements. I enjoy the story quite a bit. I like how it's darker. I like the characters. I don't like how on your first playthrough there's some story beats you can't change regardless of how you select paths and everything of the choices you make. Some things are set in stone and you have to replay it to get the good ending, and it's kind of like, well, what's the point of even making decisions then if you don't have control over it on your first playthrough? A lot of games do that. It annoys me. Haven't finished this one. I got like 15 hours in, so I definitely have to go back and finish it. Probably, I'm not sure if I want to restart from scratch or just keep from where I'm going. It's not that difficult of a game, like mechanics-wise, to understand, so I'll probably just restart it or continue on from where I was at some point. But a pretty fun game. It was controversial. Some people didn't like it because they felt they were lied to, but the developers stated for a long time it was a visual novel, so yeah, people just don't like visual novels. I don't mind them. On my birthday of 2022, I got Monster Hunter Stories 2. I want to get into Monster Hunter. I was like, I'll get Rise or this. And I was like, I don't have any friends to play Rise with, so I got this instead. I've since gotten Rise on my PC, but I don't have the storage to play it, so... I haven't really played this game at all. I played it for like an hour, and yeah. It's like a Pokemon Monster Collector RPG bit in the Monster Hunter world. I'll play it maybe someday. It looks really nice, and I like the designs of the monsters, but it's like a 40-hour JRPG, and I've got a lot of those, so it's kind of low on the list. But, you know, I've heard it's really good. And they've got Monster Hunter Stories 1 on the Switch now as well. I'd like to get Rise on the Switch, but I feel like that ship has sailed. I'll probably just wait for whatever comes out in the next console, whether that's Wilds or something else. I do want to get into Monster Hunter. It's just one of those franchises that has like a kind of high barrier of entry, I feel. Then at the end of 2022, we had Pokemon Scarlet. Definitely a very anticipated game for me, and I enjoyed playing it quite a lot. But again, like a lot of Pokemon games, quite controversial because of how broken and glitchy it was. I luckily didn't have many glitches, aside from like a crash here and there. But it's an ugly game. Like, I can't argue that. I haven't gotten the DLC yet, I plan on getting it. I'm playing through all the Pokemon games, like, in the order I played them originally. And Scarlet's at the end of that list, because it's the most recent game, so I'll get the DLC when I go back to it and restart it. But I did have a lot of fun with it. Open World Pokemon is fun. I feel it needs some refining. I'm looking forward to what they do in the future with it. But this was definitely a fun step for the series, and I do like a lot of the designs for this region, so yeah. Rounding out 2022, we had Persona 5 Royal. I had this on the PS4, I made a whole video about it. Had it on the PS4, was waiting for a Switch game to come out. It took 5 years. Here we are. Finally beat this game. I tore through it through to like February of last year, then I got the Size Palace, didn't touch it for a whole year, came back to it late last year, or early this year, and finished it, and it was so fun. Definitely one of my favorite games of all time. It is what properly got me into JRPGs. It's an amazing game. Definitely like one of the best games in this whole video. Play it if you haven't. It's an amazing game. It's a long one, but it's so worth it. I love everything about Persona 5 Royal. It's amazing. With these last year or 2 years of games, we're kind of getting a lot more into games that I really wanted to get and I curated into my collection. Not one of those is Let's Build a Zoo. This was a game I was like, oh, I really want to play a little zoo maker game. I've got Planet Zoo, but I wanted something a bit more simpler. So I got this on the Switch, because there was a physical version. Definitely a game I should have gotten on Steam. It uses cursor controls, which is not fun with a controller. So I've only played it for like 2 hours. I would like to really get into this and just put like a weekend of just playing this game and doing little things like that, because I do like little management games like that, especially if they're simple like this one. I like the art style and everything, but I just haven't really given it the chance to get into it yet. Because Planet Zoo's super complex and amazing, but this would be like a fun little thing to play. Probably should have gotten it on PC though. Plus it's got Dinosaur DLC, which is fun. Then we've got Octopath Traveler 2, another JRPG. This is the 2D HD art style, it's so beautiful. I love the music. I was more interested in the characters for this one compared to 1. So I got it, and apparently it's a lot better. I've only played it for like 8 or so hours. I really do want to play more of it, because since playing Persona 5 Royal, I want to get into JRPGs, and this is one of the best ones on the console in my opinion, from what I've heard and everything, so it's in my collection. I really want to play it. It's a big game though, it's like 60 hours. Someday, I will play and finish this. I'm looking forward to it. And then the big game of 2023, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. When that April trailer came out of the saxophone music, whoa, I was so hyped. I got this game, played it for like a week straight, had so much fun, and then just kind of left it. It's at the end of my backlog, because I started with Breath of the Wild, I'm going to end with Tears of the Kingdom, so it's going to be a while before I go back to it and restart it. But I wasn't really enjoying it after like a week. It just felt like there was too much to do, and the mechanics of the Ultra Hand were really not gelling with me. It felt like it felt very clunky and broke a lot of the seamless gameplay for me. So, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm willing to give it another chance, and I'm hoping I'll enjoy it. when I go back to it in the future. Then, rounding out 2023, LEGO City Undercover. I played a lot of LEGO games growing up. This was one that was always described as being really good. It's like GTA, but LEGO. It was a Wii U game. I never got it on the Wii U, and it was on sale for like 20 bucks at Big W on the Switch, so I got it on like the very last few days of 2023. I played it for an hour and haven't really touched it since, but who knows, I'll go back to it at some point, maybe. I don't know, this is a very oddball pick this late on in the collection, but it was like a nostalgic kind of pick for me. I played a few LEGO games this year, just out of fun. Then after I beat Persona 5 Royal, I got Persona 5 Tactica. Oh, so fun. It was on sale, I think, so I got it on sale. And yeah, fun game. That kind of XCOM shooter Tactica game, tactical RPG. I like the art style, I like the characters. Toshiro, this guy, such a good character. Love his story. Cried at this game. I played this at my parents' house. It's like 35 hours. I just was there, had nothing to do, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit in bed, sit on the couch, and just play this game. It was great. Had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, really fun. I want to get Strikers, the other like Persona 5 spin-off game. I think that'll be really fun. Then Sea of Stars. This was an RPG I was looking forward to. It was like an indie kind of game, inspired by Chrono Trigger. I was waiting for a physical release. We got one in May, and I played it. It was fun. I wasn't like, I was kind of iffy on the battle and the story stuff on first, but the battle mechanics grew on me, and I played through it. I got into it and just played through it in a few sessions. The story, though, not very good, unfortunately. This cooking character, Gal, the whole universe in the game is obsessed with him, and he's just not even like an interesting character, not a lot there. None of the music really stood out, but the battle gameplay was pretty fun. The music's really great, but I'm glad I finished it. I didn't want it to be sitting in my backlog for years. It's okay, you know, glad I played it at least. But coming off of like Persona 5, it's not going to be amazing. And then like a week later, I got Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. Really enjoyed this game. Heard it was amazing for a long time. It was stuck on the GameCube, was super expensive, and they did a full remake on the Switch here. And I played it, and I finished it in July, or like the very first few days of August. Yeah, it was fun. The final boss area, like the final chapter, was not really fun in my opinion, but the final boss was great. It's a fun little game, like very funny writing and charming. The music's really good. The battle mechanic so the battle system is fun as well. I like all the side characters. Vivian's really fun, Gumbella. Yeah, had a good time with it. I'm very glad this game got remade and is on the Switch. Not one I thought would happen. This was my most anticipated game for this year, and I'm glad I played it. I think now it's probably Dragon Quest III Remake, but yeah. Then in June, I got new Pokemon Snap. I'd been meaning to get this for a few years, but it's like out of print now, so it's getting rarer and rarer, so I picked it up. I finished it last month. It's, you know, I'd never played the original Pokemon Snap. It's not like an RPG or anything, it's an on-rail shooter. Like camera photos. I was feeling really slow at first when I was playing it, then I think like on a day I just was like, let's just beat this game. So I got through it all and had enjoying it towards the end. It could definitely be a very cozy game if you want to try and like get all the points, fill out all the missions and everything like that. It's a short story and I'm glad I played it. Definitely a very beautiful game. Could show what the Pokemon franchise could look like if they were able to give more time towards development. Then we've got Dragon Quest XI S, Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. I played a demo in 2019, enjoyed it, and late last year I played the original Dragon Quest on the Switch, really liked it, and I've always been a fan of the art style, always wanted to get into it. So I finally got Dragon Quest XI, because it's been hard to find as well. A lot of Switch games are going out of print, so I'm kind of feeling this pressure to buy a lot of these rarer JRPGs that are going to get a lot more expensive. If you look at any of the DS Dragon Quest games, oh boy, they are expensive. I've played about 10 hours of this so far. We're looking forward to playing more of it. Probably once I beat Fire Emblem, I'll probably go into this one. But it's really good. It looks great. The music's really good. it's just fun. Dragon Quest is it's the JRPG. Like, it's the most bog standard, but it's great. I like it. And the monster designs are really good too. We've got then 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. This is a Vanillaware game. It was weird. I got this on a whim because it was on sale at Big W, which is like Target in Australia, for like 25 bucks. I was like, whoa, this is a game that's kind of like hard to get. Why is it just in stock here for $25? This is strange. So I picked it up. I've heard it's really, really good. It's kind of like I guess like a real-time strategy game with visual novel elements. But Vanillaware is famous for their kind of art style, and I'm looking forward to playing it. Haven't touched it yet. I want to play Unicorn Overlord, which I've gotten digitally, because that game's impossible to get physically in Australia. They just didn't make like any copies of it here. So I got that digitally on sale, and I've got this one now as well. But it's like a sci-fi kind of one, so I'm looking forward to playing both of those games eventually. And then on my birthday this year, I got Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Kind of working through the games I missed during uni when I was studying. So got this one, haven't played it yet. I'll be playing it later this month though. Just a short little fun Kirby game from what I've heard. The first 3D Kirby game. So looking forward to playing it compared to like Star Allies. It looks really nice. The gimmicks of like the Kirby car and cone and all that kind of stuff. Looks fun. I'm just looking forward to a fun, short 3D platformer. So yeah, looking forward to playing that. Then we've got Metroid Dread. This was another game that was on the backlog of buying because I was studying during uni. My first Metroid game I played, I finished this a few weeks ago. It was really difficult, but in hindsight I'm like, oh, that was a good game. Like, the longer I think on it, the more I like it. The final boss, Ravenbeak, was so tough. I gave up, had a dream I beat him, went the next morning, and I beat him. And now I'm like, oh, that was good, that was good. I struggled with it quite a bit, because I wasn't really tricky to wrap my head around the aiming, and the shooting and running and watching the enemy and everything. But it's a good game. I really enjoyed it. I was frustrated at it quite a lot, but now I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good experience. I played it pretty much in like a whole day as well. It was addicting. It's a good game. I'm looking forward to getting Prime Remastered so I can try the 3D Metroid games, and then Prime 4 next year. So yeah, this was a good entry point for me. And then the last, most recent game in the collection is Final Fantasy 1 through 6 Pixel Remaster Collection. I just got this week. It's Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in like HD remaster of music and everything, pixel art's redone. I've never played a Final Fantasy game. I've got 7 digitally on the Switch. But now I got this, I want to play through the whole series leading up to it. I want to get into it because it's like a famous franchise. I've never been a fan. The art style always took me off from it. I was like, this looks so edgy. It looks so lame. But I don't know. I want to get into it. I like Dragon Quest more for Square Enix RPGs. But this will be a big one to get through because 6 JRPGs in one cart, like, that's a lot of hours in games. It's a lot of menus and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to playing them, but it's going to be a while before I get through them all. This is not like priority in the backlog. This is just like, this was like a year's worth investment for me. Like, this is years and years, like probably a decade worth of games right here for me to play. But I've heard 6 is really, really good. So I'm looking forward to playing that at some point in the future. But yes, that is my physical Switch collection. I've got more games digitally, but they'll make it so long, this video. So yeah, that's all I'm going to show you for today. My Switch collection has grown quite a bit this year. I'm looking forward to growing it more in the future, as finishing the games I haven't gotten yet for the console before the Switch 2 comes out next year. If it does come out next year, fingers crossed. Yeah, I've enjoyed gaming a lot this year and finishing games, and I found I've gotten better at them as well. So it's something that's been fun to me, and I wanted to share it with you guys on the channel here. I might be streaming more of these games here and there on my Twitch channel. If people are at all interested in seeing me play games, I might be doing it on there, so check that out. And yeah, thanks for watching, and this was just a fun little easy video for you to make while I work on some other stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Oh my god, look how tall this stack of games is. Oh, this is never ending. Wow. So many.